all the rocks upon which we build our lives, we are most dependent on the family. The family is that most important foundation. And we are called to recognize and honor how critical every father is to that foundation. But if we're honest with ourselves, we'll admit that too many fathers are also missing. Too many fathers are MIA. Too many fathers are AWOL. Missing from too many lives and too many homes. They've abandoned their responsibilities. They're acting like boys instead of men. And the foundations of our family have suffered because of it. You and I know this is true everywhere, but nowhere is it more true than in the African American community.
Now that was a lot of yapping. I would even call it a little rom. So what do you say to a black man who was a father, and out of a horrible tragedy, all he wants is his children home and safe with him in America? So what do you say when a man who acts like a man wants to be treated like a man? What do you say then?
Some of it has to do with the failures of our government, and those failures are real, but we can't keep on using that as an excuse. And by the way, it's a responsibility that extends to Washington. Because if fathers are doing their part here on the South Side or anywhere in the country, if they're taking responsibility seriously for their children and setting high expectations and instilling in them a sense of excellence and empathy, then our government should meet them halfway.
You said the government should meet black men halfway if they are meeting their obligation and have been taking responsibility for their children. Well, right here is a black man, Colas, a black father who has all his credentials in order, and he gets crickets. How ridiculous is that? He has to have all his credentials together, and he gets crickets and denial. And you said that there's no margin for error. He has to have all his credentials in order. Meanwhile, black people are watching national TV every day, and they're watching so many photo ops, so many white families from all over the country gather up plane loads of children, plane loads of Haitian children, and bringing them back to Colorado and Florida and so many different places. And these planes, they're government planes. Yes, with military men flying them, flying the children to America. But when the black man politely asks for his children, he has to have his credentials in order, and still nothing from the government. See, Barack, when you were making this Rom speech, we were listening. We thought it was pretty unintelligent, and it's becoming more and more clear every day. If you're going to use these words, if you're going to talk about tough love, if you're not going to utter the word thug once in your speech on Father's Day, if you're not going to say one time that African American women choose the men that they decide to have children with, and that these men may happen to be criminals. But if you're going to say that it's black men's fault, if you're going to talk about empathy and that there are people who are thinking about themselves and not thinking about others, well, wouldn't this family, the Colas, fall right into that mix? Here's a complete family, and they can't be complete because of, what did you call them, past injustices? Well, these are current injustices. It's easy to sit up there and speak when you're not the government. But when you are the government, where are you? I watched Hillary Clinton bring a child back. She looked really tough. But this man, what did you say? If you have a job, you need to get a better job. If you're a black man, well, he has that. Does he need to be married? He's married. So do you notice how the black man has to be 110% when everybody else can just throw the kids onto the plane? Yep, we're watching C-17s getting loaded up with government assistance, with military escort. But when it comes to Evans and Sue Colas wanting their children back, wanting his children safe, he is denied by the U.S. government. Whatever happened to meeting the black man halfway? He had to go to the media. He had to start a petition. But meanwhile, we're watching more and more white people able to do amazing things when it comes to moving Haitian children. Seems really easy, but difficult when it comes to the black man. That's what I mean by a whole lot of yapping, whole lot of talk, whole lot of mismanagement. See, there's no substance in what you were talking about if you can't help this man. There's no substance in what you're talking about when it comes to black men and them being fathers if you can't facilitate that, if you don't want to facilitate that. Honestly, personally, I don't think that you have the capacity. So therefore, I don't think that America has the capacity to have empathy when it comes to a black man and his children. Your words are hollow. The U.S. government's words are hollow when you're not looking at these names on this petition. Your thoughts and judgments are inconsequential when you can't grant this man who is providing you with photos, who is providing you with birth certificates, who is providing you with all the credentials in the world throughout these children's lives to prove that he is the parent. But clearly, all these people can bring children who are not theirs easily into the country, but denial for the black man. So, what do you have to say 10 years from now, 5 years from now? His children are growing up. Haiti's not looking good. They're worried about disease. They're worried about some of these children getting stolen. There are already people in jail for trying to traffic the children. So what do you have to say to this man when he says that the government stopped me? What are you going to say? Hey, don't blame the government. You should have done something about it. Well, what can you do when the great United States says no? You can't have your children, black man. No. Who do you blame? You talk about responsibility. That's what he's doing. But who are you blaming? Who is he supposed to blame? How is it supposed to work? If before you are president, you say that the government is supposed to meet black men halfway, when you don't meet them at all in 2010. So, United States government, when it comes to the case of the Colas family, you have no margin for error. Get it together and do what you said, what you got up there and got all those women clapping about. Praising you. And those words you like to use, praising you for the speech. Had white people sitting up there telling black men, oh, he's not going to be the president of black people. He's going to be the president of America. And again, we're watching all these C-17s getting filled up with white parents and little black children. I see now what they meant by he's not going to be the president of black people. He's going to be the president of America. So that don't mean the black men, which you want to give so much tough love to. You don't want to give no tough love to the thug. You won't even give any tough love to the women. But to Evans Cola, plenty of tough love. What's more tougher than saying no to a man who wants his children out of harm's way? Is that what you call love? I call it injustice.